In a previous video we have discussed regarding simple fruits, and from simple fruits these simple fruits are again divided into two types, that is indehiscent and dehiscent fruits, and we have discussed in detail regarding indehiscent type of simple fruits, where dry fruits and fleshy fruits are two types. Now in this video we are going to discuss regarding dehiscent fruits or simple dehiscent fruits, as well as aggregate and composite type of fruits. So let's start with the dehiscent fruits. So these fruits are dry fruits in which pericarp break at maturity to liberate or to disperse the seeds, and these fruits are classified on the basis of mode of dehiscence and position of dehiscing suture. Generally dehiscent fruits after maturity they open up, or they through a suture or through margins, along a margin. So on the mode of dehiscent or on the mode of position of dehiscing sutures, these fruits are divided into different types. Generally those fruits who open up after maturity, they are called as dehiscent fruits in a simple word, and they are divided into different types, that is legumes, follicles and capsules. So first the legumes. Legume is dry one chambered fruit with dehiscence along the two longitudinal sutures. Dehiscence starts from the terminal end and proceeds upward so as to expose marginally placed seeds. Look at the diagram here. A pea legume is given here, or another legume picture is given here, which shows a breakage of seed coat from one end or at a longitudinal suture, from which we can see the seeds easily, or seeds may get dispersed out of it, out of the fruit easily. So such type of fruits are called as, which are little bit long elongated, are called as a legumes, or it may be called as a pods. So these fruit develop from monocarpellary superior ovary with marginal placentation. Those seeds are attached at one margins. That's why it is called as a marginal placentation, and they are also known as pods. The example of legumes are peas, beans, etc., or Caesalpinaceae members are also producing leguminous this legume type of fruits. Second type of dehiscent fruit is follicles. See, follicles are dry, dehiscent, one-chambered fruit derived from monocarpellary superior ovary. Single carpellary ovary is there, and this develops into a fruit, and it dehisces along the ventral suture or dorsal suture. That is along only one suture. For example, calotropis, the dehiscent is along the ventral suture. Look at the diagram here, the etaria of follicles. The follicles, each member, each small fruit, each small fruit is open at one end. So this is the follicle. And in sterculia and michelia, dehiscence is along the dorsal suture, as shown in this figure. This is the follicle or follicles, or etaria of follicles, group of follicles in a michelia plant. Third type of dehiscent fruit is called as capsule. Here capsule is dry dehiscent fruit developed from polycarpellary syncarpous unichambered or multichambered ovary. It dehisces by various ways depending on mode of dehiscence. Capsule are classified into following types. Okay, generally capsule are a little bit long elongated fruits which open up after the maturity, and these are classified into following types. Look at the diagram. First one septicidal, second one loculicidal, and third one septifragal. So let's see what is meant by septicidal, loculicidal and septifragal. First of all, that is septicidal. These fruit dehisce longitudinally along the septa so that chambers or lobes of the fruit get separated without exposing seeds. The fruits who open up at maturity but they do not expose seeds, and in a such the fruits who open up in such a way are called as a septicidal capsules. The valves on separating sometimes carry the placenta with them, or otherwise the placenta is left attached to the central axis. For example, in castor, the fruit split open into separate lobes and each lobe contains a single unexposed seeds, and this type of septicidal capsule is known as regma. Second, that is loculicidal. The example of loculicidal is cardamom. You might have observed this. In this type, the capsule dehisces along the longitudinal line in between suture so as to open each chamber of fruit, and in this case placenta will remain attached to the middle of valves and separate along them. For example, it is found in cotton or lady's finger, or you can say in cardamom. Now, third type of capsule is septifragal, and in this type dehiscence occur septicidally or loculicidally so as to leave the seeds exposed on central axis and valves fall off. For example, in case of datura. Another one type of capsule is circumscissile type of capsule. Here in this type the capsule dehisces transversely and the upper part of fruit separates like a lead, leaving lower part like a cup with seeds, and this type of fruit is called as pyxis or pyxidium. For example, it is found in portulaca or celosia. So this is all about the dehiscent fruit. Now let's discuss regarding another type of fruit, that is aggregate fruit. Now these aggregate fruits are developed from single flowers with many free ovaries, and pistil is polycarpellary apocarpus, and an aggregate of small fruitlet is known as etario, and the best example is here. And we may found etarios of berries or etarios of follicles, and the example of this is strawberry, michaelia, annona, or etc. Here in case of aggregate fruits, according to the nature of fruitlets, each fruit or each etario is called as a fruitlet. So each fruitlet, according to nature of each fruitlet, these fruits are known by different names. First, that is etario of berries, and secondly etario of follicles. Look at the diagrammatic representation here. Etario of berry in annona squamosa, that is sitafar, and etario of follicles in michaelia, that is safa. So in case of etario of berries, the fruitlets are single seeded berries that are grouped on a thalamus, and fruitlets are separate. For example, ashoka, or they may be fused to form a composite fruit. For example, annona. You may found etario of berries in ashoka, but the berries are separate from each other, and in case of annona the berries are fused with one another. So these are two types of etario of berries. And second type of aggregate fruit is etario of follicles. Here the fruitlets dehisces by their dorsal suture and are grouped on a elongated thalamus. Look at the diagram. Here is the etario of follicles in michaelia champaka. Now we know the meaning of berries and meaning of follicles. See, follicles generally dry dehiscent fruits, while berries are fleshy and indehiscent. So they are divided on this basis, that is etario of berries and etario of follicles. Now let's discuss regarding another type of fruits, that is composite fruit, or we can call it as a multiple fruits. It is the development of this fruit is from many flowers or from an entire inflorescence, as we have already discussed that when the entire inflorescence, whole flowers on a peduncle, many number of flowers on a peduncle togetherly responsible for formation of single fruit, then such type of fruit is called as a composite type of fruit. And these fruits consist of many ripened ovaries, thalamus, inflorescence, axis, bract and perianth togetherly. And as this fruit develops from many flowers, it is known as multiple fruit. And following are the important types of multiple fruits, that is one, sorosis, and second, Syconus, or Syconus. Let's see regarding sorosis. There are two examples of sorosis, that is pineapple or jackfruit. In case of sorosis, it is multiple fruits formed from a spike or spadic inflorescence. The flowers fuse together by their succulent perianth, and the axis bearing them becomes woody or fleshy, forming a compact mass. For example, in case of pineapple and jackfruit. In case of pineapple, in this fruit the inflorescence is spike type, and bracts surrounding the fertilized ovary fuse to form a covering to the fruit, and while perianth and inflorescence axis become massive and fleshy. So, the crown of pineapple may be regarded as a series of empty bracts terminating the axis. Sorosis, another example is jackfruit, and in this fruit, in jackfruit, look at the diagram. The ovaries and floral envelopes of several flowers in spadic inflorescence are all united, forming spiny, that is rough covering of fruit, and while edible part is the fleshy perianth, and sticky hairs are nothing but the bracteoles. So axis is woody. In Morus alba, that is tutti, female flowers of inflorescence develop fruitlets and which fuses together to form a sorosis kind of fruit. So the example of sorosis are pineapple, jackfruit as well as Morus alba. And the second type of composite or multiple fruit is the Syconus, and the best example of Syconus is the fruit of banyan tree or a fig. We call it as a fig, that is from the ficus family. Okay, so Syconus, it is a multiple fruit derived from Hypanthodium type of inflorescence. We have already discussed regarding a special type of inflorescence, in which the Hypanthodium is a special type of inflorescence where the receptacle is fleshy, cup shaped, which encloses the number of minute male and female as well as sterile flowers. Here female flowers develop fruitlets or akins, and fleshy receptacle becomes massive, pulpy and edible. So this is the example of Syconus type of fruit, that is fig. We call it as anjir in a common language. So that's it from the topic fruits. Here we are done with our three subtopics, that is subtopics of morphology of reproductive part, that is inflorescence, flower and lastly fruits.